Yo, you guys want some free Golden Eagles? Download the app that's in the description. Do it. Do it. You won't. What is going on, guys? Slick B here, and today I'm starting a new series. Yes, a new series on the main channel for War Thunder. What, Slick? I thought you do vlogs now. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna get some things out real quick just to lay the groundwork for this series. One, I don't work for Gaijin. Gaijin doesn't pay me to do this. Gaijin doesn't tell me to do this. Gaijin doesn't ask me to do this. Nobody asked me to do this. These are my opinions. Make sure you stamp that. These are my opinions with some facts backed up by gameplay. But what this series is going to be is a problem-solving series. I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers, well, a few YouTubers and a lot of players have been very salty recently with War Thunder. The recent BR changes, some tank gameplay, little bit of adjustments and stuff like that. Now, I want to throw out this just to say it first. YouTubers play the game a lot of the times more than some of the players to make this content. So when a YouTuber plays a game a lot, they will experience things a little bit differently, I guess, than some people because they're playing the game so much. They will notice small things that the casual player won't notice, and they will complain about them. Me as a YouTuber, the way I play, the way I'm an optimist, the way I look at things, the world, the game. I used to be very mad at the game. I used to be very mad at not having changes. I used to be very mad at not having things. But then I started to adjust my way of thinking, and I haven't really had a problem with this game in quite some time, just because I don't really care when I play. I'm gonna make fun content for people to enjoy regardless. It doesn't need to be a good game every time, for me at least, and the viewers reciprocate that. I get good comments, good likes and stuff like that for pretty much every video. So I don't think that me putting up a game that has 2 kills in it compared to a game that has 10 kills in it, there's not a huge difference there. There's a difference with who's going to show up. If I put a video with 10 kills and post it on Reddit, I'm going to get some people who come in and they'll be like, well, you could have did this. Fuck those people. Those people are out to ruin the world. And I'm still going to have the same people saying, love your content, Slick. I'm glad you posted this. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. And you guys are awesome. You guys are what keeps the YouTubers keep trucking. You know what I mean? You guys are the dedicated fan base. All that's out of the way. What is the topic for episode 1? Fucking ammo racks. Fly made a video on ammo racks. Speaking, I didn't really watch the whole video. I just know that he had like a funny thing in the beginning and he missed the ammo rack and the tank killed him. I mean, that's not really a problem with the ammo rack, right? Now, I've played a bunch of top tier tanks. I don't think this is as relevant in lower tier tanks because you're not going to really, a 50 mil is not as effective against an ammo rack as a 122 millimeter. You know what I mean? So I've played a lot of top tier tanks. I've not played as the Americans, but I'm just going to assume that it's pretty much the same. I've played the T10, I've played the Leopard, I've played the Mouse, I've played the IS-3, I've played all these tanks. And I've played tier 4 Americans and stuff like that. So I've played a lot of the tanks. Guys, ammo racks are a very interesting subject considering I'm not a fucking tanker, right? None of us are well, I'm sure some of the viewers are, but none of us were here during World War II. None of us knew the kind of ammo and how it reacted when a shell went through it, right? So Gaijin's interpretation of how shells react to ammo racks can either explode or it goes through it. But common sense weighs in here, right? Sabo rounds. It has a metal penetrator that punches through the tank, knocks out things inside, Now, in real life, a Sabo round is a lot more effective than in the game, because in the game, you lose a crew member, you're not really attached to that guy. He's not really super crucial for the tank. Yeah, it's going to make loading slower or traversing a little different, or your machine gun's going to go out. You're going to have to wait for you to load the tank, but that crew member is not a real person. In real life, you lose the loader. Not only is everybody else shell-shocked because a fucking shell went through the tank, you know what I mean? It's going to have a lot more effect in real life. This is a video game. That's not me saying that this isn't realistic enough, blah, blah, blah. For ammo racks, it's a metal rod. You could take a firecracker and throw a toothpick into it, and it's not going to blow up. Now, yes, it is a metal rod, and it's traveling very fast, and there could be sparks. But think about the type of ammo that's in that rack, right? So let's say this ammo rack, you pen a Leopard. Well, I mean, Leopards usually blow up, but let's just say you pen an ammo rack of a Leopard, and he's carrying a lot of APCR because he's a new tank. Is APCR going to blow up like HE? No. So I don't know if Gaijin takes this into account, but let's just say they do. That would be dependent on every single tank you shoot, what ammo is in its ammo rack, right? So if a tank carries a lot of HE, it's going to blow up like a tinderbox. And if it doesn't carry a lot of HE, it's not going to blow up at all. So let's think about that. A lot of people have talked about the ammo penetrating the ammo rack, but not what's in the ammo rack. So let's talk about what's in the ammo rack. So now we're thinking, right? Everybody's thinking, I'm thinking, we're all thinking. I'm sure some people have commented already and said, Slick, this is bullshit, Russian bias. The gameplay you're watching right now, I one-shot 4 tanks, or 3 tanks, with a Leopard. And they're all Russian tanks. One-shot them by blowing up their ammo. Now, one of the tanks took 2 shots, but the other ones were all 1 shots. Like, right into the ammo, went up like nobody's business. No problem. And you know why? They were probably carrying APPC, which has an explosive filler. And I hit it with the heat round, or the heat fin stabilized, or whatever you want to call it. And it blew it up. So the round has as much to do with what rounds are in the enemy tank. Let's say that affects it, right? Now, I've had games, guys, where I've shot American tanks, Russian tanks, British tanks, whatever tanks you want to say, and I cannot light an ammo rack. And I've also had games, like the one you're watching, where I've lit every ammo rack. This was the first game I played tonight. Just torching people, no problem. So, I don't think it's a problem with ammo racks like we think. I think the problem is inconsistency due to ping, server-side issues, ammo. I mean, we don't understand how the algorithm works for Gaijin as far as ammo racks and if that thing's going to explode or not. Wargaming approaches this very well. They come out and just say, yeah, it's a random number generated system, if you're going to hit that ammo rack or not. Now, I mean, you have a better chance if you hit this area, but you could not blow it up, or you could. Certain rounds have different things. So I think that's the bigger problem, is the inconsistency with ammo racks. It's not the fact that ammo is sucking or there's a bias for either team. I've not been able to pen Germans and they don't blow up. I've not penned Conquerors and they have blown up. Some tanks are more susceptible to blowing up. I mean, based on how they're structured. I showed a little part in the beginning of the video of the ammo rack density. So the Leopard has a very dense ammo rack. All the ammo is pretty much stored in the front. The T10, the ammo rack is on rails, pretty much scattered about the tank. Yeah, there's a lot likelier chance that you're going to hit it because it's everywhere. But then again, you know what I mean? It's everywhere. So you might miss. You might only hit 1 shell. It's not going to hit like 5 shells in a row because it's all in one box. So density is a big thing. Now, let's also talk about... I lost my train of thought. Hold on. We'll come back to it. So I had a good thought, but I lost it explaining the other thought. I mean, things go. But what I want you guys to do for the rest of this series, well, what I want you to do first is comment down below a problem that you have with the game that isn't ammo racks, and I will address it and talk about it with a calm discussion, no bias. Oh, actually, I remember my thought before, but please comment down below, please, with the problems. The other thing I wanted to talk about is caliber of gun. So a Russian 122mm gun is a really big shell. The type of ammo affects it. So like an APBC is going to have a different type of shrapnel effect when it penetrates than a, you know, saber round or a heat fin stabilized round. So if a 122 pens, it's going to have less penetration. If it pens a, you know, oh, it almost penned or like it barely penned, it's going to have a lot more spalling and shrapnel than a round that has no problem penetrating, because the round's going to stay pretty solid. So let's say the round explodes a lot like the Russian 122s. It's a more powerful round. End of story. I always carry APBC even though I can carry heat fin stabilized in the T10, because just the APBC, it doesn't matter. It just pens and blows up anything, one-shots anything. It's the same thing with the SU-100Y. I made a video on that. It was just one-shotting everything. So, I mean, caliber of gun should be taken into account as well before we complain. So, okay, end of discussion. I don't really want to talk about ammo racks much longer. I said my 2 cents. These are all opinions. Obviously, take it with a grain of salt. Not salt as in I'm mad about it. I love this game. I've been enjoying it recently. But yes, there is some type of inconsistency with ammo racks that I can't put my finger on. I've had games where I've gotten pissed off, and I've had games where I've been like, wow, holy shit, I don't even know how I killed him. God damn. But yeah, so leave a comment on what problem you want me to address next. Before you hate me or say anything like that, guys, I think as a community we need to be more constructive in our criticisms. Any YouTubers that are watching this, like, just don't, there's no point in like yelling or complaining about at guys because they're just not gonna fucking do anything. I mean, let's be constructive. The best criticism is constructive criticism. You know, nobody likes, let's say you are a soccer player, because I've been playing a lot of FIFA, and you miss a goal or you miss a pass or something like that. What do you take better? Do you take better when your coach is like, you're a fucking idiot, sit the bench? Or, hey, next time Jimmy was open, you should cross it to him. You know, next time Jimmy's open, chances are you're going to cross it to him. So let's think about that, guys. Be smart and band together as a community, and we can try to push to get some things changed, things fixed. I think next week will probably be BRs, or next time I do this, because a lot of people had problems with BRs and wanted to talk about BRs and such. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this new series. It's a little adult, mature spin on dealing with some bullshit that's in this game. So see you guys in the next one. Peace.